Bed of roses.
Chapter 5. Each day was strange to Jessica because she daily preoccupied her mind with the goal to pinpoint the reason behind her husband's ill-treatment. She looked at herself in the transparent glass window outside her room. The look in her eyes got her terrified. The strange look on her face reminded her of the scene she personally witnessed on a certain day years ago, the scene of a mad dog among sheep. The sheep were scattered, running helter-skelter in search of safety, while the mad dog was aimlessly pursuing them, barking loudly. On seeing the scene, she ran for safety. No one was outside because they knew a mad dog is like a hungry lion. She had no other choice but to remain in hiding, watching and pitying the running sheep that had no shepherd to rescue them from their enemy, the mad dog. She saw that the look on her face was similar to the look on the face of every of the sheep on that day. She pitied herself. "Jessica, I can't remember asking you to wash my clothes with your bare hands. You are ruining my designer's clothes." Jethro lashed out, quickly ran to her, removed the wet clothes from the washing bowl, and flung them away. "I see. Even your education is a waste. I blame myself for choosing you," he said aggressively and walked into the house. Jessica sat there speechless, looking at him. She shook her head and packed the clothes he threw on the floor. Just then, Jethro shouted her name. She wanted to ignore him, but she knew if she do, the worst must happen. She left the clothes and ran to answer him. "Where were you that I had to shout your name several times?" He lashed out. She was trying to explain before he cut her sentence short. "Shh! Keep quiet, woman. Now go get my food," he ordered. Without saying a word, she left for the food, entered the kitchen and came back with his lunch. He spat on her face, the rice, after he put the first spoon of it in his mouth. "I never knew you disliked me to the extent you had to put plenty salt inside my food. Wicked woman," he retorted. Jessica took the spoon, fetched and tasted the food. It wasn't salty at all. "But honey, it is not salty now," she said. "So, I am lying, Abby?" "No, dear, I don't mean it that way," she said. "Now, go wash my clothes with the washing machine, the ones you are washing with your hands. Then, cook my food. If you like, put the entire pack of salt inside the food. For Christ's sake, Jessica, do me good even once," he squatched. "Jethro, I earlier told you the machine was faulty, but you still asked me to wash your clothes. You see, I had no other option than to use my hands. Now you complain of The heavy slap from Jethro brought her complaint to an abrupt end. The heavy slap was so intense that it knocked her to the floor. He kicked and beat her, saying, "You have guts to talk while I'm talking, Shay? You even called me Jethro. This woman lacks respect too. You dare call me by my name." She kept pleading, but to no avail. He stopped beating her when his twins ran to him, crying and begging him to stop. He pulled away and looked at them. "Dad is sorry, okay? Never tell anyone about this incident. Hope I'm clear?" he asked, and the twins nodded in affirmation. They went to their mom and assisted her to stand up. "Mom, why is Daddy always beating you like a primary school student?" Espen asked. Jessica was speechless. as she hugged her twins. The twins are her only consolation during her husband's maltreatment. Maybe these kids are the very reason she never seek divorce. She held the hands of her kids and together they went into the room. She and her husband slept in different rooms. She went on her knee and cried to God, Lord, 5 years of sorrow is too much already. You kept on telling me to stay. Every day, the situation gets worse. Father, I have been quiet and nursing my wounds silently. I have clinged on you for strength to endure all these years, but my patience is gradually running out. Father, do something quickly because my endurance is failing me. I don't want my kids to grow up in this kind of home. Lord, I'm leaving him. Please don't stop me. She prayed amidst sobs. The two kids were on their knees praying as their mom was praying. After the prayer, Esther spoke. Mommy, why do you call God your father? Is he our grandfather? She asked innocently. Baby, I taught you in your social studies assignment the responsibilities of a father at home. Can you remember? Yes, Mom. The father is the head of the family. He provides shelter, food, clothing, and education for his family. He caters for and stands by his family, Esther said. Good girl, I'm proud of you. Likewise, God provided for me as his child. He gave me money to buy clothes for you and myself. He gave me money for your education. He gave us money to pay for accommodation. He protects us day and night. God is my father. He's also your father, she said. Does that make us siblings with you, Mom? Esther asked. Yes. You see, in God's sight, we are his children. I am like your elder sister, she said. Mommy, how does God provide for you? Esther asked. God is unique. He is a king and has many servants. Remember that Nigerian movie we watched about the forgiving heart? You saw how the king was always surrounded with guards and how obedient they were to him. Guards are always waiting to carry out the order of the king. In the same way, God sent angels in form of people to help and provide for us. Recall that day my car broke down on our way to school. Do you know I forgot my purse and phone at home? Surprisingly, God sent that auntie who borrowed me her phone to make call and also gave me money for our transportation. That day, God showed up as our provider. Jessica told her kids who were listening attentively. Jessica became emotionally cold when Esther asked her, But Mommy, why won't Father stop Daddy from beating you? She wiped the rolling drop of tears from her cheek and said, Sometimes there are some things Father allows to make us strong. This actually become a testimony that glorifies his name. Trust me, it will end soon. Mom, I don't understand, Aspen said, confused. Don't worry, sweetheart. When you're older, you will understand. For the meantime, don't be angry at your dad and always respect him. Is that okay? Yes, Mom, the twins chorused. Jessica held them tightly to herself and said, Father, thank you for this consolation. Please, permit me to ask you one question. If you were me, will you protect your husband's bad image before your children, just like I did? Aside the emotional trauma I am in, Mom is another thorn in my flesh. I started ignoring her calls because she continually reminded me of my unmarried state. She kept on singing Gideon's name to my ears. Mommy is never ready to reason with me. So, I stopped picking her phone calls. I returned home that evening so tired due to the hectic work of the day. The month has gone far and I had no plan of going home. I decided to join Mommy Grace, my pastor's wife, on her charity outreach that weekend. I have skipped many weekly activities using business as excuse, whereas I spend my evenings at home in front of my television with the aim to while away my loneliness. I was preparing my clothes and the ones I would give out for charity work when my phone rang. It was my sister Tabitha. I was having a second thought if Mom used Tabitha's phone to call me, but Mom has never done that. I picked the call reluctantly. Hello Tabby, how are you? I asked. I am fine, but Mom is seriously sick, she replied. Sick? What happened to her? I don't even understand what the family doctor said. Please, sister, come immediately, Tabitha said, sobbing. After the phone call, I rushed into my room and packed a few clothes into my handbag. From Sokoto to Zuru is a 3 hour journey, and it's 5 p.m. already. I've made up my mind to arrive our family home today, even by midnight. I arrived at the motor park, but there was no vehicle to board. It was getting late. I stood transfixed, not knowing what to do. Just then, I saw a car moving towards me with a faint voice shouting, Zuru, Zuru, Zuru. The voice became louder as the car moved closer to me. The car was a private car, and I wonder if I heard the word right. I stretched forth my right hand, waving to the driver, who was alone in the car, to stop, as I was desperate to get home that day and was ready to take the risk. The car stopped when it got to me, but at a little distance away. I ran to it, opened the car door, and entered in without looking at the face of the driver. I screamed, "Thank you, Jesus," when I sat down. The driver immediately turned and looked at me when he heard these words. "What?" I exclaimed when I saw the driver's face. To be continued. And don't forget to subscribe.